Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in learning one more Chinese expression a day. Yesterday, we came across this good meaning. I guess that's something we all crave for, all want, that somebody is going to sing praise to us nonstop. 不绝口 means you're not going to stop it. You're not going to stop the mouth singing praise to you. I don't know if that ever happened, but it's a very rare event. I don't know. Today, we have 3 characters carry over from the next phrase. Isn't that amazing that Chinese can just reorganize itself and have a highly overlapped characters, right? 4 character, 3 of them are overlapped. And then just switch out one. And then it's a completely different meaning. Okay, let's go in. 绝口不提. Last time we have 暂不绝口, right? 绝口 together again, but it's moved in the front. 绝口, stop the mouth, right? 不提, it's actually the opposite meaning of 暂不绝口. 暂不绝口 means something, your praise coming out of the mouth and it cannot be stopped. It's just continuation. But here, 绝口 is like stop the mouth. It succeeded on stop talking, spilling whatever you have to say. Then 不提 is a negation of 提. Here translated mention. So not mention something and you seal, like you just zip, not bring it up. That's the meaning. 绝口不提. Again, 绝 came from this fabric cutting practice that has the fabric on the left, the cutter, the person, kneeling over, sitting on the heels. That's the ancient way of sitting and bending over, working on something, right? And then the tool to cut, which is the knife. So I guess ancient times, we don't really have scissors back then. And then cutting a piece of fabric using knives to cut through. So this cutting fabric actually means to stop something or to separate something, right? And in this case, because it's to separate the mouth, meaning to have your voice, your saying cut, like stop it. Stop having anything, spilling out. So that's so I use seal. So it's not necessarily mean seal as if by a tape or something. It means in English context, it's a seal the mouth. So we use this taping metaphor. But in Chinese, we use fabric cutting to mean cut your long-winded thing. Stop it. So that's the Chinese, instead of a zipper. Zipper is the contemporary invention, right? That becomes a contemporary expression to seal. But 绝口, this fabric cutting, is the ancient way to say, stop saying anything more. Okay, so that's 绝口. Ko is, again, this up-tilted corner, smiley face, mouth. And bu have this bird pointing upward, going to the sky. Is a negation to the earth. That's bu. Okay, so we have 3 of them already reviewed. Now, T is the new one. We have the 5-finger hand symbol up there. Normally, Chinese only have 3-finger hand symbol, kind of showing on the bottom right corner of the frame. That's indicating it's the language user or viewer from your angle. That's actually your right hand. You're using your kind of like your right hand at the bottom right corner of the frame. So 5 fingers. When it's self-standing alone, I haven't found out what's the distinction between when it's using 5-finger hand symbol versus 3-finger hand symbol. I haven't found out yet. I'm guessing. 5-finger hand symbol. Okay, this is the theory. Okay, just a quick scanning of my inventory of of Chinese characters with 5 finger versus 3 finger. I'm theorizing, I'm guessing that 5 finger hand symbol means something related to the whole hand. So the behavior of the whole hand. 3 finger hand symbol means something is in relation to the hand. So is a hand as a part of the story, so to speak. It's not so self-standing hand. It's to complete some other meaning to have it. But here is to describing what a hand is doing. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so 是 on the right side came from the food symbol. Actually, the food symbol. This is in a few episodes ago that I was saying this is 赞. There we go. 赞. You see here? Over time, over history, somebody may miscopy this food symbol as a plant symbol. You see, it's a trident shape, right? With the plant supposed to be like the leaf of the plant pointing upward, separated from the ground, right? It's not. There's only one stem that's connected to the ground. So that's the plant symbol. Versus the food symbol. You see, the food symbol have the toe, have to connect it. This is a big toe, actually. This is the right foot, actually. So this is your sole, and this is your big toe. This is the second toe. I don't exactly know why the third toe seems to be growing on top of your second toe, but that's the abstraction of the language. But the key point here is somebody copied the big toe connected to the second toe, and then it become the plant symbol, get a separation from the sole of the foot. So that's the comparison to that symbol. This is the food symbol for sure. Now we have a horizontal line, and we have a kind of an oval shape with a horizontal line in the middle. That's the sun symbol. The sun symbol, because, okay, the oval shape is kind of a sphere, right? Kind of depicting the shape of the sun. And then the horizontal line is an indicator. It's an abstraction of there are things inside the sphere. It's not a reflector of the light. It's the source of light and heat, so to speak. So it's the energy source. I guess the language creators back then can distinguish the sun from the moon, right? The moon is reflecting. I mean, contemporarily, we know that as knowledge. Probably in the back then, we can see the heat, at least, coming from the moon is far, far, far less than the heat from the sun. The plant can grow because of the sun. And as an agrarian society, they're super sensitive to the sun, I guess, to the moon as well. But that's a special thing with the sun that's got this energy symbol, like an indicator. There's something inside that sphere that's our life force. And then this horizontal line, we can view it as horizon. The sun rises just above the horizon. That's the morning time, the sunrise time. Or you can say it's sunset. We don't exactly know. But actually in Chinese culture, later generations, I know this sun rising above the horizon, that means morning, early morning. It's sunrise moment, not sunset. Okay. Okay, and then the foot symbol means you're pointing your foot toward the sunrise direction. In a way, it's poetic, isn't it? We can almost imagine, almost like in a cartoon frame, somebody is walking toward the horizon where the sun just rising, and have that silhouette of that person in the big background of the moon, the sun rising above, right? That's what's depicting over here in this Chinese abstract symbol assembly. And somehow this character gained a superpower in the language because it's probably one of the most commonly used Chinese character. That means yes, that means is, that means exist, that means it's going well, it's positive, it's not negative. So it has a lot of meaning applied in the language. And actually in Chinese modernization to kind of map the Chinese old way of expression of grammar, of I guess it's called syntax, the syntax of Chinese, map it to the Western way of expression that have everything fall into places, right? You have your nouns, your verbs, your adjectives, everything like got in its own place, where Chinese words are fuzzier. One character can mean multiple things, and they're kind of floating, and their definition is defined in a context of where that word occurs, right? It's highly contextual. So the grammar was not as finely formulated as in the English or other Western language. So 是 is a concept that translated into Chinese to express the English is or am or are, you know, all kinds of changes to pair with the first person, second person, third person, and single or plural, right? All that. But in Chinese, we just use 是 no matter what. So that 是 is, you know, affirmation of existence, of it's happening. It is. You can translate it as indeed something is happening. So that's the culturally highly frequently used character. And when we have this positive, this sunward walking image, you know, pretty grandeur picture I created over here, paired with a hand. What does that mean? Okay, it actually means with your hand, you are holding something in your hand. That thing is not depicted, but it's positive in your hand. Hand positive. Okay, how is that? Okay, I just came up with this and make myself laugh because hand positive is pretty weird expression. That means you're not empty-handed. You are hand positive. You have something in your hand, but that something was not mentioned here because it can be anything. We don't want to pin down what exactly in your hand, but we want to express you have something in your hand. So that hand positive becomes a combination. That means you're holding something in your hand, and that's exactly what that is. 提 in Chinese means your hand holding something, and a lot of times, okay, let's imagine when you go to a mall, you shop and you have a shopping bag, right? When the shopping bag on your shoulders is not 提 because you're not using your hand, but when the shopping bag is held in your hand, you can either, you know, tense up your muscle, do your bicep lifting, holding like this, or most likely you're holding just naturally with gravity, right? At a full length, arm's length, holding the shopping bag below you. Hold it in your hand, but you're not tense up your bicep. You just naturally let it dangling. That's 提. So it's a hand positive. You have something held in your hand. Okay, that's my long-winded. So 绝口不提 提 actually here, it doesn't mean hand holding. It means you bring it up to the foreground of conversation. It becomes a topic. In English, we have bring forth something, like you speak up about something, you mention something. So mention is the word I use here. It simply means out of all the things, topics you have, you could have talked, you bring up this topic. So that bringing, that mentioning, it's this 提, almost like things in our lives, you know, it's thousand threads. We often say 千头万绪, thousands threads. And then which thread you pick up today to think about it or talk about it. It's like a 绝口不提 is like I happen to come across this expression in this long chain of expressions, one word a day of expressions. And I happen to come across this one. Like this is the one that I bring up today. like I enact it, I make it come to life, come to the foreground of what we are talking about today. So that's the tea. It's almost like you're picking from 1,000 of different things and you pick up one. And that physical picking transferred to, conversational or like mentally, you're thinking about that subject on the foreground of your consciousness. And that's the kind of tea, you bring it up. Okay, 绝口不提 means you seal, right? You cut the thread kind of fabric kind of seal, like you don't mention it at all. So that's 绝口不提. I try to find one word English. Reticent, maybe it is close enough to say you're keeping silent on something. Something we all know is there, or may not, like other people may not know, but you're not saying it. You're just not saying, you're sitting on it. You don't mention it, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, but the effect is the same. It's like you seal, you don't talk about it. It's a taboo almost. So that's the kind of a 绝口不提, and I find a picture and it kind of seal the mouth like visually to show you that's how 绝口不提 is practiced in life. And of course, we all do that occasionally, I guess, to be reticent about something. And that's Chinese way, 绝口不提 today. Okay, cashing into your tendency of thinking about one word a day. See you another day.